Thank you, Tony. New details in a Target 12 investigators exclusive. A controversial email with details on a government trip should be released.
And that's the decision today by the Attorney General's office ordering the McKee administration to provide the email to 12 News. Target 12 investigator Tim White is here now with the details.
The decision comes after Target 12 filed a complaint with the Attorney General arguing the McKee administration improperly withheld an email the public had a right to see, and Peter Nerona's office agreed. As Target 12 first reported, two Rhode Island state officials, David Patton, the $174,000 a year head of the Division of Capital Asset Management and Maintenance, and then DOA Director Jim Thorson, took a flight to Philadelphia. The purpose was to meet with state vendor Scout Ltd. and tour a facility there. But Target 12 learned that Scout officials were so appalled by Patton's conduct, they sent an email that made its way to Governor Dan McKee and Speaker Joe Shekarchi detailing allegations of inappropriate behavior. McKee denied Target 12's request to see that email. You feel, on balance, the public has a right to know?
Well, that was the conclusion of my public records unit, and I agree with it.
On Wednesday, Attorney General Peter Nerona's office ruled the McKee administration had to release the email, writing in a 12-page decision, the public has an interest in a document that sheds light on how government operates, adding, the fact that the email contains allegations of misconduct against such senior government officials increases the public interest in disclosure of the document. Nerona gave McKee's office 5 days to comply with his ruling.
If the governor's office decides not to disclose the record, then my office will go to court to seek a court order requiring them to do so.
Target 12 requested an interview with the governor, but received an email from a spokesperson saying, our office is currently reviewing the Attorney General's decision. The governor's office tells us they have asked the state police to look into the trip to Philadelphia. Patton is currently on paid administrative leave. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.
Thank you, Tony. Now to a Target 12 investigators exclusive. Rhode Island's Attorney General says Governor Dan McKee's office violated the state's public records law.
The decision comes after Target 12 filed a complaint with the AG when the McKee administration refused to release an email that would shed light on a controversial government trip. Target 12 investigator Tim White tells us what the AG had to say in his decision.
The Attorney General ruled the public's right to know outweighed the privacy interests of government officials named in the email. Within days of a government trip to Philadelphia by David Patton, the head of the Division of Capital Asset Management and Maintenance, and then DOA Director Jim Thorson, employees of Scout Ltd., a Rhode Island vendor, wrote an email outlining what they say was offensive behavior by Patton. The email made its way to the governor's office, flagging what they viewed as inappropriate behavior. The McKee administration denied Target 12's request to see the correspondence. Target 12 then filed a complaint with the Attorney General. In a Wednesday decision, the Attorney General's office ordered the email's release, writing, there is a public interest in allegations regarding how high-level state officials openly acted in front of third parties while they were in the course of representing the state of Rhode Island. You feel, on balance, the public has a right to know?
Well, that was the conclusion of my public records unit, and I agree with it.
The decision gives the McKee administration 5 days to release the email. If McKee doesn't comply, Attorney General Peter Nerona says they will go to court seeking a judge's order to release the document. Typically, the AG's office would represent the governor in court proceedings.
There's 330 lawyers on the state payroll. I've only got 100 of them, so I suppose there's some state lawyers out there that one could find to handle the matter, or you'd hire outside counsel.
Patton is currently on paid administrative leave. A spokesperson for the governor said in an email they are reviewing the Attorney General's decision. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.